Hey, what's up? This is your boy Jones. We in New York City, but I got my dude from London with me, DJ Firestarr. Shouts to Influential Records. Check out the interview, you heard. Just talking that shit, dropping a lot of gems. And gems you can't buy, you heard. Holla at us.
Production. DJ Firestarr keeping it smashed.
So close that door, Paul. Yo, close that door, Reem, to the studio.
Rolling? Rolling. DJ Firestarr, Spotify, Influential Records, big up QB, NYC. We got Harlem in the building, Jim Jones, Capo.
Yeah, What's
going on, fam?
How you feeling, brother?
How you feeling?
Feeling pretty good.
Long overdue, man.
Yeah.
I want to say I appreciate the time, first of all.
Thank you.
You know,
appreciate you for always pulling up.
Yeah, man. Anytime, you know, I've reached out in London and I've hit you up and there's been artists come over in the UK, you've always, you know what I mean? You've always showed that love back if man needs anything out there. So I just want to say, like, big up for that, you know what I mean? You didn't have to do that. There's been many occasions that I could name, but you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about, so I just want to big you up for that.
No problem.
Can we talk about what we were just watching in there?
The movie. Yeah, I did a movie for my album at the Church Steps. About 7 minutes long. It's a dope movie. It's about things that go on in the neighborhood. Some comedy to it. I use a bunch of IG influencers, which I think is dope. People look at IG more than they look at TV nowadays. So I got some pretty big actors from.
Yeah, you got some heavy hitters in there, bro.
Yeah, few familiar faces. It's pretty dope, man. I think people are gonna laugh. People might cry. There's a lot of different moving parts in the movie. Surrounded around the church. Thanks to Pastor Joseph for letting me actually use his church that was on 125th Street in Harlem. So
crazy. So how long has that been in the works? Like, how long have you been working on that and putting it all together?
Well, we did the movie around last September.
Okay.
So finished up the album, dropped the album, now I'm ready to drop the movie. So.
Okay, and you said something in there when you was watching some of the clips. You said the movie feels like what's really going on right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, my neighborhood.
Yeah. Can you just touch on that a little bit? And obviously, I know recently you had someone in the neighborhood, the lady.
Mama Z.
Yeah, I just want to, obviously, I know that was a close situation.
Yeah, unfortunate situation that happened in my neighborhood where we lost one of the patrons of our neighborhood, Mama Z, who actually looked after a lot of us out there, protected a lot of us. She definitely was a protector, but you know, she looked at everybody, all the kids out there as they were her own and things like that. So it's unfortunate that she was hit with a stray bullet that caused her end up losing her life. But I know I do got an angel in heaven, and so many of us got an angel in heaven that's watching over us right now. But the movie kind of depicts some in that order. But innocent bystander ended up getting hit. And I'm just thinking like the sequence of when I made the movie to the real life that's happened, and now I'm about to drop the movie. It kind of feels like what's actually going on outside right now. It happens all too often in our neighborhoods and just not in Harlem and all around the country and inner city communities, even around the world and things like that. You know what I mean? But for the most part, where I'm from is these inner city communities where, you know,
I know you do a lot of work within the community as well.
Yeah, I do.
How have you found the best way to maybe improve the situation, especially like in those areas for you? And like obviously in the UK, we got a problem with like the knife crime as well and things like that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I see it running around big knives and machetes and things like that. Well, me just being there and trying to lead by example, I know they know that I've come from the same streets and same buildings and hallways and walkways that they came from, and by God's good grace, I was able to figure out my way out this matrix and be able to do something with myself and my talents. And I do believe there's a lot of other people like that that can figure out the same things and maybe even do something better than I have and things like that. So just me being a beacon of light inside of a dark place is my biggest contribution to my neighborhood, aside from all the things that money can buy, money can do as far as the give backs and all that. Me as a person in my heart, you know what I mean? It's my main attribute to my neighborhood.
And for someone who was stepping into Harlem for the first time, like as a kid, what would you say is the one thing they would need to know about your neighborhood and like where you grew up, if for the first time they was walking around your ways? What's the one thing that they would need to know?
The one thing that they would need to know: mind your business. You might see some things that you need to keep to yourself and keep on walking.
I like that one. Let's talk about something away from music. Obviously, the Knicks right now are going crazy.
Smashing.
The city seems like it's, obviously I've only been here
They got the
for a
city
couple of
on
days.
fire.
Talk about that energy right now.
They got the energy in the city up. We haven't been here in so long. Me as being a fan, Knicks fan since a young child, and going through so much anxiety watching them. It feels good though, man. It feels good that these group of young kids going out there every night, putting their best foot forward, and winning these games. And now we at the semifinals, right?
Yeah.
Someplace we haven't been in a long time, and I've seen a lot of people steal that joy from us. I think right now we in perfect shape to get to the finals. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's go Knicks.
Yeah, big up. The energy seems different, like in the city, definitely. You know what I mean? We've got the games coming up this week. It's like a frenzy outside.
I'm nervous for the city. The city might break with a few more wins the way they acting outside. Nobody going home for a week if the city do.
Yeah, if they like win the championship, like what?
It's gonna be New York is gonna be a whole new place, man. I promise you that. Something no one has ever seen of a championship.
Yeah, it's definitely good times, man. Let's jump into a little bit of the music, bro. Like, obviously, the run that you've been on, it's been incredible, bro. Like, what's your headspace like with everything that you've seen in like the last 12 months, the work that you've put in? I mean, you've always been super active anyway, but it just feels like there's this different energy right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so where's your head at regarding kind of everything that you've experienced in the last 12 months and kind of the resurge? I don't want to call it, it's not a comeback, of course it's not a comeback, but like it's like just a different energy, bro.
I mean, I'm in a great headspace. This last 12 months has definitely been a hell of a ride. Something that I can't say I haven't seen done too much before inside of this industry. And then where I'm at, I'm also at a place that I've been here before. You know what I mean? So for the generation now that I'm in the midst of, they might not have seen me when I had when I was in this type of mix before. But for me now, it's like I'm chasing something different, aside from this feeling that I'm getting right now, which feels like taboo. You know what I mean? Like, or in the start, like it's something else that I see that I'm trying to achieve and things like that. And this feeling is a hell of a high. And I've been high before. You know what I mean? You dig? I'm trying to stay a little bit sober during this ride so I can make sure my mind is focused and I can get all the ancillary things that comes with this bit of success that's been that I've earned.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Facts.
And I appreciate it though, just to see the people, the fans. It ain't easy. I've been in this game for a long time. I've had tremendous success. And in the midst of my success, I've seen so many that have way more success than me come and go. So for me to still be here in this capacity and having a hell of a year that I'm having, I mean, what more can I say, man? You know what I mean, I definitely tip my hat to God. I know I couldn't. None of this could be done without him. This is not a lucky streak that I'm on. You know what I mean? This is a God-given. This is a God-given thing that was given to me and things like that. And I do believe that wholeheartedly. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I've heard you talk about kind of the new way to market music that you've been picking up, like kind of flooding the game with like the videos, like the streaming side. Can you just drop some game for like?
I mean, shit. It's not my game. It's the generation that's coming up.
Yeah.
That's coming up right now, and how they moving the needle for music, and how they reaping the benefits. It seems to me that a lot of these artists are in a position and are making way more money in so little of a time, way more money than we were making when we were coming up and things like that. And just watching the things that they're doing to acquire that and things like that, and the way that we used to market and promo records are not the same way that they're doing it now. And in the midst of reinventing myself and figuring different things out so I can stay in the forefront of the game, because I don't want to be considered something that's trying, you know what I mean? I hate the word old and shit like that. I ain't from yesterday and shit like that. And for me to be in the game today at this capacity, I got to be able to compete with what's going on. So I had to pick up the ways that's making the money, and one of those ways are attacking everything digitally that you possibly can, and every platform that you possibly can. And for me, it's a younger generation that's attacking these platforms, so I had to figure out a way to make it work for us.
Facts.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
or for me.
Yeah.
And people watching me that it's in this game, like I've been in this game, and you take a piece from my page and figure it out for yourself. But there's no way around doing the things that I'm doing. As you see, the major artists are doing all of these same things and shit like that. You know what I mean? And some of these artists have been around for so long, get caught up in these old ways, and it's hard to break old habits. But I'm cool. I'm trying to get to where I need to go.
I hear that. How have you, even before like Set the Trends, like you were in a space.
Takeoff.
You were in a space where, in terms of connecting with the new generation of artists, you've been doing that. So touch on like how is it that you are able to, like when we spoke, I remember the last time we spoke, we set the trends was the tape was out, etc. And you had like hella new artists on there, young guys you were telling me about.
Yep.
And that's I've just seen that
and
progression.
a lot of those artists that were actually on that tape end up getting major record deals, and right now having major motion outside as far as inside of the music game and things like that. So it gives me a lot of gratification when I'm able to do things like that and be able to help others. You know what I mean? When I know that I didn't have the same help coming up, and I know I was yearning for that help. Like I wish somebody would have came and gave me any type of helping hand to help me advance to the next level. You know what I mean? So these are the things that I'm doing now with the people I can help. You know what I mean? And it's not necessarily a young or old thing. I'm just trying to help others with a chance at a fair chance of success that I never had.
Yeah. And who puts you? Who keeps your ear to like? Who do you pay attention to that tells you kind of, yo, go and check this person out? Apart from obviously looking for yourself, etc. Like, where do you keep up with what's going on?
Most of my artists are pretty young, so they always outside. My son is a great A&R for me. He always puts me on to a lot of the new music that comes on and things like that. Like he was the one that put me on to like Lucky, put me on the V's when V's start getting hot. Like he got a real ear for music, so you know what I mean? Shit like that. You gotta keep your ear to the streets.
Yeah, facts.
It's the only way to hear them.
And what was this, this you did a freshman list like call out or something like that, right?
What was that
about? Just break that down.
I signed up for the XXL freshman cover. But at this point, I feel like I reinvented myself to a whole brand new artist that nobody's seen before. I'm going in as Jomo. This last album that I put out is a tremendous body of work. Coming off a gold single, We Set the Trends. Not to mention everything that I've done in this past 12 months. Not nothing that I've done before here, or you know what I mean, like not the accolades that I've got in my past from my catalog. I'm talking
Facts.
about me
Now-
alone in this last 12 months.
Yeah.
If it's the double XL freshman cover, that means it has to be artists and what they've accomplished in this past 12 months. But what I've accomplished in this past 12 months, I have not seen a lot of artists, both old and new, accomplished in 12 months. You know what I mean? Like I'm on a good run right now.
Would you say you're in your best moments?
I would say I'm in my bag.
You're in your, yeah, facts.
You know what I mean?
Facts,
You did?
Facts. I hear that. Let's talk about some of the relationships that you've got in the UK, bro. Like
What? What you mean?
like some of the guys you know over those sides, artists that you're close with.
Well, GIGGS is one of the closest friends that I have. That's from the UK.
Yeah. Talk about how that first came about. You remember when you first like linked
him
up?
and Mano are real cool and things like that, and that's how we forged our relationship. You know what I mean? And you know, as you know, me and Mano, lobby boys. That's my
lobby boys.
That's my Batman twin right there, and things like that. So you know what I mean. But GIGGS is one of the brothers, man. That's sitting there and being able to talk to him and understanding the story, realizing that his story is no different than our story. Man, we all came up from the mud trying to get clean and shit like that. You know what I mean? And then I got a chance to do a fashion run. I went to Paris Fashion Week and things like that. And me and GIGGS was like on the same show, and then watching him perform, it was incredible to see the respect and the love that them fans had out there for him, and they knew the words to his records, and he had that shit rocking back and forth like he's really GIGGS out there, you know what I mean? Like me meeting him here in Mount Man, and you see him, he's calm, smooth, collective dude and things like that, but then seeing him in his element on his side and things like that was a whole different, I mean, everything is different, and I know how that feels, and it just was dope, man. Shouts to GIGGS, man. Definitely shouts to GIGGS.
And he's the main guy that we look to in the UK in terms of the rap side as well. Like, is there anyone else that you have any links with over there, like artist wise, or?
Not like a firm relationship and things like that. You know what I mean? A couple dudes that I know from just doing music and things like that. Like, I got to meet Central Cia with I think at a Drake concert and shit like that. That was dope and shit like that. I don't know who knows who and shit like that, but he definitely knew me, and I felt good to know and shit like that. That he knew the history of Dipset and things like that. But I don't have a lot of relationships with a lot of UK artists. And maybe I need to change that. Maybe I need to start looking at these. But a lot of them are dope. Like that drill music, they tempo, the way they rap. There's a lot of dope ass artists that I've been looking at and hearing and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. With the current space that you're in and the way that the music's been going for you, how does that impact some of your other ventures, bro? Like, you know, you've got other things you're involved in.
I mean, actually, when you're doing good at music and you got some motion in music, everything else is going to come to you. That's how you get your money off of all these ancillary businesses is having some dope records. And the music is always first if you want to do business. And it makes business easy, very easy. You know what I mean? Yeah. And you become one of the coolest kids on the block. These are when the brands and these companies want to get next to you and use you for your notoriety and your influence. You know what I mean? Naturally, and that's all I've been doing.
So forthcoming, we got the movie coming. Mm-hmm. And then what else are you working on that's coming? Are you still doing, you still got that Spanish album?
Spanish album's coming out. I got the soundtrack to the movie coming out. About to perform at the BET Awards. Got the big ass Summer Jam concert here in New York City.
Yeah. Explain a little bit how that Summer Jam stage feels. I've been lucky enough to go to a Summer Jam. I was out there in 2018.
2018.
It was Meek's. I think you might have been on that show.
That was a pretty.
It was
good
Meek's
one,
first show in New York.
Yeah, that was heavy then. Since he came home.
Yes.
Yeah, that was a heavy one.
I think Wayne was on that. Kendrick was on that.
Yeah. But Summer Jam is like the championship of concerts for New York City, I would say. I mean, similar to the NBA championship and shit like that. You know what I mean? They definitely putting some of the hardest and biggest artists on that stage for that concert for the past 20-some years, if I can remember. You know what I mean? Like, we've been on it so many times between Dipset, Cam, and myself and Joel's all been there as a group and separate on numerous occasions and things like that, you know what I mean? So just to be back on that stage goes to show the work that I put in this past 12 months is definitely coming back.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I mean?
I've heard you speak on it, but like, does that show take a lot of planning? Because obviously it's you and friends, right? So nobody, I know you're not let off.
I mean, it depends on how you approach it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't want to approach it like the way I've been approaching shows and things like that. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely putting some effort into this. I'm definitely putting some thought into this. I'm gonna give people the best show that I could possibly put on. Show a different side of me and shit like that. It's New York City, so I know a lot of people are gonna be dependent on me to really put on a dope show from a New York standpoint. I mean, for New York, we need a heavy New York show. I mean, you know, the radio, so I wouldn't say polluted, but there's so many different other artists from other places, and a lot of the New York artistry get lost in the sauce because we don't get to hear ourselves too much on our own radio stations, but there are a lot of classic New York hits that we all know and love and adore. So I'm definitely dedicating this Jim Jones and friends to my New York niggas, NYC.
I hear that. Jim, let me ask you about London real quick, in the sense of, are we ever going to get you out there for a show? Because obviously there's a story about what the stuff that went down maybe the last time Dipset were in London. And
I wasn't there. I ain't got nothing to do. I don't got nothing to do with it. I heard about it and shit like that, but I don't got nothing to do with it, and I don't think that they holding me accountable for any of that went on and shit like that. I would love to come to London and got a promoter, any promoter that want to put me in, put some shows together. Tell them to pattern that. You heard?
Pattern that heavy.
You heard? I got them boys with me anyway, so I'm ready. I'm ready to do any show out there. You heard? My nigga GIGGS say he can't wait for me to come out there and do a show. He said, don't worry about nothing. You heard?
Shut that shit down, bro. Like we're waiting for that. Yeah, we need that. It's like before it's all said and done.
Now let's do it. Let's put it together. I haven't been. I did one European tour in my life. That was a fun experience and things like that. So I haven't been on that side of the world to do shows in a very long time. It'd be a great experience to go back. The catalog I have and all the classics, and I know that people on that side of the world, they love hip hop, the culture, the same way we love it and things like that. So, like a lot of the man, you know, they grew up on hearing yourself, hearing Dipset. It influenced a lot of the OG rappers in the UK. You know, your GIGGS, your K Cokes, etc. C-Biz, like. All these guys, like, when I speak to them and I ask them who their influences are, it's your name that comes up. It's Dipset, it's, you know what I mean, crazy. Cash Money, it's that era, like, it's... Shouts to SAS. Who else had a group from London back in the days. They was nice as shit too. They were a very talented group and things like that.
Did you get a chance to spend a lot of time with them when they were...
And here in the city?
In the States?
Yeah, hell yeah. They used to be jewels every day. That's when everything was more of a tight-knit community between all the Dipset members, so everything was, I mean, in-house, so definitely.
And I want to ask you, have you got that
I got records with them. I don't know where they at, but I did a few records with them.
Have we managed to get the Dipset chain back off
Nah,
easy yet?
man.
Like,
I ain't get the chain back, man. Need my shit back, bro.
I want to touch on, obviously, Styles P, good friend, family, etc. He said recently about, you must have seen the clip when he was asked about battling with you. He said he's all about bars and you ain't basically in that he's a different lane. I just want your opinion on that.
It's getting chippy. That's one of Styles' words. Well, above all, I want people to know Styles is my brother and shit like that, but we all players on different teams, and this is a competitive sport, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't expect him to say nothing different, you heard?
Facts.
But the proof is in the pudding, baby. You know what I mean? Y'all can pull up the freestyles. Let's pull up the Madison Square Garden freestyles. Then let's pull up the last record me and Styles did together on the Lobby Boys album. Let's pull up all of these things that y'all can go back and check it out. You heard? And y'all know what I do. I mean, it's hard for these rappers to admit how far I came, and that's just what they want to say. You came a long way. No, nigga, I'm better than y'all. I came a long way, and I'm better than y'all. And it's hard to admit that. I know. You heard? Because you figure at this point in my career, I would be where y'all at. I'm not that. I'm still lit right now. I got heavy motion. My shit is moving, you heard? My lingo is connecting. The young boys fuck with me, you heard? I'd rather be a wide end than an old nigga sitting on the couch, nigga, you heard? How about that? I got hella motion. But half you niggas mad at my age or my motion or the way that my rhymes be flow. My shit is pure right now. Pure though, you heard? My shit like that shit they was selling in the movie Blow, and that nigga was like, damn, what is this, man? You heard? Let's be real, people, you heard? You can put anyone from my era all in a box and I wrap them niggas up like a gift. You heard? It don't matter who it is, not just Styles, you heard? Any one of them, you dig? We could do it on TV, we could do it in Times Square, we could record it, you heard? Like, I've been there, they see me in action live in person, I don't hide. I go everywhere and do my shit in front of everybody to watch so they can see how I get busy. Yeah, and we won't be there long, they'll tell you that too.
Capo, before we run out of it, can I run through a couple hot takes? You just give me your answers to these. All right, first one, Harlem or Miami?
Damn, that's a tough one. It's always Harlem, but you know, Miami's my second home.
All right, best Dipset record of all time?
Best Dipset record of all time, I'm ready.
Okay, love that. If you could bring one rapper back for a collab, who is it?
Pac.
Heavy.
Wait, Stacks.
Cool. Tim's or Jordans?
Tim's.
Weed or wine?
Weed.
Biggest fashion regret? And considering you're a trendsetter, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know what.
Biggest fashion regret?
Yeah.
I mean, everything I did was in the time limit of it being done, so it wasn't really no regrets. You know what I mean? Looking back, there was a lot of shit. I'm like, damn, you really did that. Like the long tees that was going down to the calf muscle was crazy. The long white tee like that was wild. Like we was bugging. But yeah, shit like that.
First thing you do when you touch down in London?
First thing I do when I touch down in London. What is the first thing I do when I touch down in London? Hopefully I get through customs. It's always tricky getting through customs in London town.
Give me your Mount Rushmore of NY rap, please, bro.
Mount Rushmore of NY?
Yeah.
Damn.
For you.
For me? Damn. The Mount Rushmore of NYC. Biggie J. The Mount Rushmore of NYC. How many is on Mount Rushmore?
2.
2 more
Biggie
we
J.
got?
You got 2 more. It's 4, right?
Including myself or excluding myself?
We'll put you in, we'll make it 5. So give me 2 more.
Oh.
Probably changes all the time, bro, so just go with what you're going with, what you're feeling with.
Nah, it's a lot going on in my mind. I gotta be careful. The Mount Rushmore of New York rap. With the hierarchy, like, Biggie, J, 50, and Puff.
Oh, okay. Heavy. What's
And
something?
and that's no prejudice, you heard?
Yeah.
I'm just telling y'all the facts.
I like this one.
You heard?
I like this next one because I know you.
I would, like you did, like it's like with no prejudice. You heard, like after that we could get into some other shit. But you want to get to the facts? I would say Biggie, Jay, 50 and Puff.
Heavy. What's something you've done in your career that no one gives you enough credit for?
Shit, you don't give me credit for anything that I've done, and I've done so much for this game. It's pitiful. I've done things niggas couldn't think about doing. You know what I mean? I've done off-Broadway plays, musicals that got 2 thumbs up in the New York Times. I gave these niggas fashion tips after fashion tips after fashion tips. I changed the game of the way videos are shot. I was the first person, like it's just so much. So much. You heard? We could go down the line of everything that I've showed you niggas how to do. You know what I mean? I've created portable studios. This is the reason why you're able to record in your own home. I did that wholeheartedly. You niggas didn't do that. You can go back and check my history gap. You know what I mean? Like it's just on and on and on. We could go about it. It's not just fashion. I'm a very smart man. I knew what I was doing. I taught myself how to do everything in this game, down to engineering, Cam sessions in for multiple of his albums and things like that. I've turned myself into my own engineer. I've just done a lot. I've showed people that you do not have to give these people the money in the game if you smart enough to keep that shit in-house. You heard? That was the biggest lesson I showed people, you know what I mean? Because when you get in here, they want you to spend money all over the place and shit like that with people that don't know your story or don't know the picture that you're trying to paint. And we was the first people to crack the code of how we can keep that shit in-house and show people the things that we wanted to show about who we are. You know what I mean? And so many people learned that lesson. That's why you see so many kids and so many artists direct their own videos right now. And a lot of them that's doing it now don't even know where that came from, and that came from me.
Yeah, facts. Heavy. And before we run out of here, bro, finish the sentence for me. In 2025, Jim Jones is still the only rapper who?
In 2025, Jim Jones is still the only rapper. Damn. Who? I don't even, that one caught me. That one caught me, that's a good one. I'm trying to say the only rapper who? Still balling after so many years.
There we go. Jim Jones, Firestarr, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate the time.
I appreciate you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Long overdue.